We do have a number of voting integrity bills that I co-sponsor nationally. One of them is for Election Day to be a national holiday. That's less important in Colorado because we mail ballots, but in a lot of states where it still matters a lot. That's a big deal. It's shocking to think that there's still states where basically you have to vote on Election Day unless you have like a medical or actual reason to get a ballot. So you have 90–95% of people who vote on Election Day. Very hard if you work in 8 to 8 job, 9 to 5 job, and kids to pick up. So it's a barrier. Another one is around the civil rights aspect of disenfranchisement, right? And so we worry about policies that lead to selective disenfranchisement of people of certain ethnicities, or we like to ascribe a more political motivation to it, perhaps people that they think might vote a certain way, namely against those in power who are trying to disenfranchise them. That can take the form of ID laws, it can take the form of having to force people to travel a lot further to their polling place to vote, people who that they think will vote more favorably. So I think we need a much stronger federal role in oversight on the civil rights side through the Voting Rights Act as well, which has been ruled unconstitutional, not because the act and what it did was unconstitutional. It was ruled on very narrow grounds that it used old data to determine which areas were subject to voting rights. It's a very simple fix. We have bipartisan support to update the data. We still haven't been allowed to vote on it. So we need to reinstate the Voting Rights Act, primarily to prevent the disenfranchisement of minority voters. Colorado is not a state that is subject to that. This is in the South, states that 11 or 13 states, something like that, that fall under that piece that was invalidated. So it's a multi-tiered approach, right? It's not any one thing. It's a holistic look at the integrity of our system. Obviously now we're worried about the commission looking into fraud, requesting things. It's actually scared a lot of Coloradans. Over 5,000 Coloradans have deregistered. Very unfortunately, because the information that was given by our Secretary of State is the same information that any of you can get. I think it's like $50 or something. You can go down and get a CD of the Secretary of State. It's the voter file. Both parties have it. Political candidates have it. It's nothing top secret, but there was a lot of fear about that, and so perhaps it was the intended consequence to scare voters into deregistering. I don't know whether that was intended or unintended, but that's certainly what's happened with about 5,000 people here in Colorado. Very scary. Campaign finance system is broken, so it's a horrible system, and so you have this dilemma, like, do I give to somebody in another state? And you think, well, you know what, the other side is, and so do we. It feeds on itself, because yes, people have to fund campaigns, and without resources, you can't win campaigns. So the bill I sponsor, authored by John Sarbanes of Maryland, is an overhaul of our campaign finance system, which would establish matching donations for small donations from within the state to a candidate. So it would give up to 5 to 1 for $100 or less. Every American would get a tax credit. I believe it might have changed in this year's version of the bill. I think it's either $50 or $100. So every American would get a tax credit, like a voucher, that you could donate to the candidate of your choice that runs in your area. Because at the end of the day, candidates have to have a viable way of raising money. So if you're saying you can't rely on the big donors, you can't rely on the state donors, you still have to have a way where you can communicate. And so I think empowering kind of the grassroots through a tax credit and through matching donations for small donations is the best idea that I've seen to do that, as well as doing away with PACs, political action committees, the political donation arms of corporations that are able to give directly to candidates. On the broader front, we're also concerned about what we call the dark money. This is money that doesn't funnel through a candidate, but is unaccountable, often undisclosed. The tie gates were opened through the Citizens United decision. I sponsor a constitutional amendment to overturn that. The more realistic path is that it be changed to the Supreme Court. Because why the Supreme Court is so important, right? It was a 5-4 decision. We'll probably still be 5-4 today, but just one or two justices changing, and hopefully they can read the Constitution in a more appropriate way. I feel like if you read John Paul Senior's dissent in that case, it was a very scathing dissent that the founding fathers did not include, corporations as people and unfettered political free speech. So, those are all aspects that need to be dealt with. But in the meantime, every person like yourself faces this dilemma. If the people I don't agree are doing it, we probably need to do it too. And so that's the dilemma we're in until we fix it. That's been an important part of providing a counterweight in our economy. When you look at kind of who benefits from growth and prosperity, We want to make sure we find a way economically that it's not just the investors and executives, it's also the workers. And historically, and unions are a part of that. Now, unions aren't in every firm. In fact, in most companies, they're not.